Hello, and welcome to We Live for Saturday, your favorite college football podcast. I'm your co-host, Mike, and with me, as always, is your other co-host, John. John, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. Just a little, getting over a little bit of a hangover from last night. Not literally, but, not actually, but, it's just from what happened, but we'll talk all
From
about
what
that.
happened? Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. But honestly, I'm doing okay, man. I mean, it went pretty much more or less as I expected. So I'm not, it's not like I'm like brokenhearted or anything like that. It sucks, but it's not, I was prepared. Let's put it that way. But what I am excited about is the fact that like fall weather is finally showing up to Minnesota tomorrow. 63 degrees. It's going to feel like it only took this long, which is obnoxious, but here we are. I'm excited about that. I'm excited that it's going to feel like football weather. I mean, it's just the best time of year for me.
I'm with you. I just hope that it's still fall weather on Saturday for homecoming.
Yes.
Because right now, the high is in the 70s. And I don't love that. I would like a high in the 60s so that by the time we hit kickoff, we're at like a crisp, 63 degrees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas if it's going to be 75 all day or whatever, then kickoff, it's probably going to be 69 or 70 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're still wearing a t-shirt, and then it still might as well be June. And what are we even doing?
Yeah.
What I have to say. What are we even doing? So, yes, I hope the fall. I'm excited about the fall. I hope it hangs around for the football game on Saturday because homecoming is always a big game.
It is. It is. And Purdue, man, like we said, they could sneak up on somebody and just hopefully it's not us. So.
They could. But this is the review pod, not the preview pod. So we won't get into that right now.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring everybody down. Yeah.
No, it's all right. We're teasing it. It's coming. It's coming on Tuesday when we do the preview.
That's right.
John, anything you want to say before we jump into, or anything we need to talk about before we jump into reviewing these games?
I mean, I don't think there's any major news unless there's some injury reports that I just missed over the weekend. I don't think there was anything substantial that I've heard about, and obviously please comment.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's very good.
We like a weekend when we're not coming out of it bummed out about a serious injury. It seems like people mostly stayed healthy this weekend, and that's great.
Exactly. Yeah,
so we're happy about that. Hopefully hopefully anybody who got banged up this weekend is good to go for next week.
Yeah, other than that, I don't think there's any major Big Ten news at this time. Anything that we want to cover anyways. I know there's other outside noise, but it's not important. We're in the season. Let's talk football.
Let's talk about football and not private equity, huh?
Exactly. Well, there you go. That's exactly it. Yeah. But we won't talk about that. So, yeah, if you want to find We Live for Saturday, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Podcast Addict. You can find us on Twitter at We Live for B1G Sat. You can find Mike at Alibaba26. You can find me, John, at Norwegian Gopher. You can also email us, We Live for Saturday, b1g@gmail.com.
Awesome. Let's get right into it. And let's start with, and John, the great thing about when you play a road game is that you can just really lean into being a college football fan from your couch.
Yep.
And you have the capability of going to all kinds of different games. I know my setup, I have a 2 TV setup, and then, there were enough games going on that I also had a third one on my laptop, the laptop game, and we'll get to that. That'll become relevant as we go on. But this was a really exciting weekend of football.
Yeah,
it was. We got some drama, and I said before this week, some of these games are going to be closer than we think.
Mm-hmm.
And they were.
Yeah.
So, let's get right into it with a game that wasn't close at all. The 4-1, number 15 ranked Michigan Wolverines 24, the 2-3 Wisconsin Badgers 10. So, I may have exaggerated. It was close at half. It was just a 10-7 game at half. Wisconsin scored on its first scripted drive, buoyed by a strong rushing attack and some timely passes by third-string QB Hunter Simmons, who got the nod over backup Danny O'Neal. So they both played, but Danny O'Neal did not pass the ball, so it was the Hunter Simmons show as far as the Badger passing attack went. After halftime, though, Michigan dominated. And really, after that first drive defensively, Michigan dominated.
Mm-hmm.
They scored 2 touchdowns in the second half, while Wisconsin was able to do almost nothing on offense after that first successful touchdown drive. Michigan finally gave up a field goal drive late in the game with backups in long after the game had been decided. Luke Fickell, despite being down just 2 touchdowns, John, with almost 3 minutes left in the game, elected not to use his 3 timeouts to try to elongate the game.
Yeah.
Seems that Fickell was resigned to this fact that his team could not move the ball against Michigan effectively, and that they weren't going to score a TV and set up. And if I'm a Michigan player, I'm pissed. Yeah. Or sorry, not a Michigan player. If I'm a Wisconsin player, I'm pissed, man. You play to win the game. It's 24-10. Michigan has the ball. You just got a field goal. If you get a 3 and out and call all your timeouts, you get the ball back. Maybe you get a freak play and you can score in like 60 seconds. And then there's 60 seconds left to kick an onside kick. I know it's not likely, right? But like, I've been part of, when I was growing up, maybe not in football, but I was part of some basketball games that were wild. Like, we ended up winning games we should not have won on shots that we should not have made. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta keep fighting, because sometimes you win even when the other team plays better than you do.
Well, and it's
so on.
Well, and I mean, Joel Klatt was calling it out for like the last for at least five minutes or so. He was just like going over it and like being like, why isn't he calling any timeouts? Now, no, he wasn't saying like, oh, you're going to win the game, but like, don't you want to like try? And I think that you saw it with the fan base reaction on Twitter that like you don't want to see your head coach give up like that. And I get it, and I know like you and I, with Brewster and stuff like that, I'm sure, we remember what that feels like and stuff like that during certain games, but it's like, you just don't do it. And if nothing else, you don't want to lose the locker. For number one, you don't want to lose the locker room, and then number two, like you're killing the fan base, man. Like, do you think these people are going to show up to games for a head coach that doesn't even want to be there? Because that's the way it seems. And maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Is he trying to get that buyout? Like, what's going on? Like, it's not a good.
He's not. Luke Fickell is not trying to lose.
I know, but like the image, for optics sake, I guess, like this just doesn't.
He gave up, man. He waved the white flag.
Yeah.
He said, "We're cooked today. We're done."
Which it was true, but like.
Well,
still,
yeah, of course it was true, but you can't act that way when you're the head coach. You have to be the emotional center of that team.
Exactly.
You have to believe even when everybody else doesn't. Because if you don't, who's gonna?
Yep.
I just don't. Luke Fickell, man, I don't understand him at all. And I feel like, no, we're not going to get into my religious biases. Anyway. It was crazy. So, that was devastating for me. Coaches aren't supposed to give up. It made me really upset. I don't understand it, but let's move on. And, John, this is how Wisconsin's offense did after the first drive. Punt, 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 end of half, punt, punt, interception, punt, field goal, good with just under 3 minutes left, long after the game had been decided. Yikes.
Yeah.
And many of those punts were 3 and outs. Wisconsin only managed 13 first downs for the game, and the vast majority of those were on the first and last drives. They had 6 possessions of 3 plays and either a punt or interception. 6 effective 3 and outs. That's just beyond brutal in one game, because you're not giving your defense a chance. You can't even rest, man. And those defensive players are just getting gassed, just getting thrown out there. Like, when it's like, all right, you're done. Okay, cool. You go to get a drink of water, and that's like, all right, you're back in. Like, what?
Yep.
Especially the ones who are like on punt team too. And it's like, yeah, dude, it's not great. That said, let's talk about the winners, Michigan. The offense wasn't great, but it had its moments. They ended up with 445 yards to just 252 for Wisconsin, which isn't really bad at all. That's a good ratio to beat your opponent by. Hunter Simmons ended up 18 for 29, but he threw a bad pick and also had just 177 yards for a paltry 6.1 yards per attempt. Wisconsin could not run the ball as Jones and Dupree combined for just 78 yards on 3.3 yards per rush. So once again, woof. And I'd say on the bright spot, Vinny Anthony, really nice day, 9 catches, 97 yards. But nobody else really helped out in a meaningful way in the receiving game. And for Michigan, man, true frosh, Bryce Underwood, 19 for 28, 270 yards, nearly 10 yards per attempt, 1 TD, 0 picks. You'll take that from a guy who's learning on the job. But the star of the day, excuse me, was Justice Haynes. Underwood is still developing and his wide receivers aren't great, but it's the superstar running back Haynes who he's the focal point of the offense.
Oh, yeah.
He delivered with 117 yards and 2 TDs on just 19 attempts for a whopping 6.2 yards per carry. That is how you carry the mail for an offense that needs a lift.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some other thoughts, but what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think Donovan McCulley deserves his flowers too. I mean, he really kind of showed out finally as a number one receiver. That's what we needed to see, somebody who's a reliable target. And we've seen, when McCulley was at Indiana, make some amazing plays, amazing catches, and he did that. You're finally kind of seeing it coming back into play, and you saw it in this game. He was doing some incredible things. So I was really glad to see that from Michigan. Michigan's offense is definitely, it's got its bright spots, but this isn't any kind of world beater when it comes to the offense in Michigan. But their defense, for everybody else, unfortunately, anybody who plays them is outstanding. And obviously we'll talk more about that. But this offense seems to be kind of finding its footing and identity in what they are. And I think building it around Justice Haynes is the way to go for sure.
Have to. Andrew Marsh is a good development at receiver.
Yeah.
He's a freshman. He's really dynamic. I was actually doing a YouTube watch party with Kinetic 615, who's a Michigan podcaster.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me that he thinks Andrew Marsh is the future or not even the future, but the present at receiver, that he's the guy who could even supplant Donovan McCulley potentially and be either the number one option or else they could be co-number one option kind of thing.
Sure.
But they could be the top two and like a clear top two. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the Andrew Marsh thing is a really good development for Michigan. Once again, the Wolverines had too many drops. Because Bryce Underwood honestly played even better than it looked.
Mm-hmm.
It's telling, John, that we are in year 2 of Sharon Moore, and Michigan's most prolific receiver is a guy who couldn't get on the field for Indiana last year because he doesn't run precise enough routes. I like Donovan McCulley. He's not a bad player.
Yeah.
Should he be the number one option in a Big Ten offense?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why didn't Michigan get more? And even if you're saying he should, right? And he's legit, and I'll acknowledge that he looked legit today. Let's say he's legit.
Yeah.
Why didn't they get more guys who can play? Because Samaj Morgan isn't any good.
No,
he's not good. He doesn't bring you anything. You need to sit him and play somebody else. And for the second year in a row, Sharon Moore had a clear deficiency on his offense, his baby.
Mm-hmm.
And last year it was quarterback. He didn't get anybody.
Mm-hmm.
This year it was receiver, and he basically just got McCulley.
Yep.
Like there's a disconnect between what we're seeing on the field and what Sharon Moore is doing to replenish the Michigan roster. And that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, but it seems to have been an issue at receiver for a while, though. Even when Harbaugh was there, it wasn't fantastic, and we're not used to seeing that. So
under Lloyd Carr, it was great, though.
Yeah.
Lloyd Carr always had he's like, you need receivers? I got a fistful. I don't even use them that much, but here they are. Lloyd Carr always had 3 receivers who were terrifying at all times.
Yep.
And they were all big, and they were all fast. And I remember playing against them, man, with Glenn Mason defenses, just thinking, oh God, what are we going to do? And the answer was get torched.
Yeah.
That was the answer. So we were going to get torched. We scored a lot of points at least, but we were going to get torched.
Yep.
And dude, I think that this is all about the Michigan defense at the end of the day.
It is. Yeah. I mean, that showed, man. Yeah.
They only forced 3 tackles for loss, but they were assignment sound. They were dynamic. They were athletic, and it seemed like they knew the Wisconsin offense almost better than they did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when the DBs are doing such a good job, they're kind of running the routes with the wide receiver.
Yeah.
Like they're they're shadowing each other.
Yeah.
But that's what it felt like watching this game. And you just never felt like Wisconsin had a chance.
Were there some stolen signals, do you think? Do you think that there was some Should we start that rumor out now?
Should we start that?
Oh yeah.
Dude, Wisconsin fans would love us for that.
Oh, they would.
They'd be like, they're like, you're giving us an excuse for losing a game, I guess. Minnesota fans, okay. They'd love us for it.
It's not because your offense is terrible at all. It's that someone stole your signs. That's what it was. That's why you lost this game. Yeah.
Dude, the offense is bad.
It's so bad. I mean, dude.
Really bad. And Hunter Simmons is not an improvement.
No, I mean, not much of one. I mean, he looked a little bit more competent.
He takes care of the ball better, I guess.
Yes, he does take care of the ball better. And that's why I got to give him a little credit with that.
Yeah.
But dude, again, Wisconsin can't run the ball, man. They just can't.
Can't run the ball at all.
And it's not. I know this is Michigan defensive line, and I will I will definitely put that in there. But this isn't the only game where this running game is just, it's anemic. It's not going anywhere. Dylan Jones has some flashes here and there, but it's nothing consistent. And that's a bad place to be for Wisconsin, for any team in the Big Ten.
For Jones and Dupree to combine for under 3.5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Combined, put together. So the one who had the better day was at about 3.5 yards. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's really rough. And it's just, when Luke Fickell decided to go back and ditch the air raid, I wondered, does he have the personnel to run the ball? Because we saw Tim Brewster. I'm not trying to say that he's Tim Brewster, but Tim Brewster ran a spread offense for 2 years. And to be fair, Brewster actually had some success with his spread offense, whereas Fickell didn't. But then we're going to pound the rock, and they couldn't pound the rock, and it got him fired.
Yeah.
Because he turned to do something that he hadn't recruited to and just was hoping the guys could do it, even though we didn't have any good running backs on the roster at that point.
Yeah.
No offense to DeJuan Bennett, but he was not dynamic with the rock.
No. This just seems like a story you and I have seen before, obviously firsthand as Gopher fans. We've seen it, Nebraska, and it just seems they took a risk, and I don't blame them entirely, but the experiment has utterly failed, and it just has. And I don't know what to do, and I don't think they know what to do.
They don't have the money to buy him out.
Yeah. So
our friend of the pod, Scooby, said that basically they don't have the buyout money, and so they're stuck with him at least through next year. Yeah, and that's rough with where things are going, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of what happened when they had a bunch of recruits there and they got run off the field by Maryland.
Yep.
That stuff does not help recruiting.
No.
It doesn't. It makes it harder to hold on to guys.
No.
Unless you're really good and you can sell them, be like, hey, you can come in as a true freshman, be a star, kid.
Mm-hmm.
Be a star. And, that's a sell, right?
Yeah.
So some guys like that. They're like, oh, cool. I don't have to sit for a year and a half or two.
Mm-hmm.
I can come in and play right away. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you gotta sell them on that. But how much patience is Wisconsin going to have for how long? And does that buyout, I wonder what that buyout drops to next year. Because I know I think it's $30 million and only drops to 25 this year.
Yeah.
I wonder if it drops significantly more next year. And so they figure he gets one more year because of that.
Sure. I'm sure. I mean, that sounds about right. I don't know exactly, but
I don't think they can fire him. It doesn't sound like they can. If they could, because Scooby was all excited and talked about the hot board and whatever. Mm-hmm. And then later was like, oh yeah, that's not happening. We don't have the money.
Well,
and it makes sense because you can't drop $25 million. You need that to run your program. You can't just give that away to somebody to not coach.
Well, and that's what makes this all so much worse with the fact that he just visibly gave up on the
Yeah.
game. And that's, to me as a fan, like, look, dude,
It's
you're already here.
unforgivable.
We're paying you so much money, and you're, not only are you losing games, but now you're just basically telling the fan base that, like, I don't even care anymore. Like, whatever, I'm just going to ride it out and take the money and run whenever that is. Like, you can't fire me anyways. It's like it seems like it's almost like he's voluntarily wanting to destroy the program in a way. Like, that's how I would feel if it were me. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying, like, that's where my crazy mind as a fan would go. I'd be like, are you trying to ruin us? Like, that's what I would, that's where I would go, because, college football fans are crazy, and I am one. So
yeah, we are. We don't claim to be fully sane.
No,
at all.
But to go back to the team that won, though, is like one thing I did want to say about Bryce Underwood is, like, he's got to learn some touch, man. Like, he really has to.
Oh,
like,
yeah, he rifles everything.
I mean, like, he can be accurate, but some of those receivers weren't coming down with the ball because it was coming in at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
I feel like that's something you can only fix in the offseason.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? He can get there, but I don't think we're going to see it this year. I think that's something to work on for next year.
Yes. Agreed.
Hopefully it doesn't take 5 years like it did with Ethan.
Yes. Well, actually, I hope it does, because we're playing Michigan next year. So
yeah, I hope it takes at least 2.
Yeah.
2 to get there. That'd be great. Be perfect. All right, we move on.
Yep.
All right, we had number 7, the now number 17, 5-1 Illinois Illini 43. The 2-3 Purdue Boilermakers 27. John, Purdue never felt in danger of winning this game.
No.
They cut it to 2 scores 3 separate times, but they never got within a 1-score striking distance. The closest they got was 9 points once. Luke Altmaier was sublime. He threw for a career high, 390 yards on an incredible stat line of 19 for 22, 17.7 yards per catch or per attempt, and 1 TD and 0 picks. That's a QBR of over 90, and you will take that every day of the week and twice on Saturdays.
I don't know why more people aren't giving him credit where credit is due, man. Like, on the national scale, dude. Like, the fact that he still goes on, or even people on Twitter, which of course, like, they're, people are.
It's the Indiana game, man. People still have the Indiana game in their heads, but they got to get rid of it. They got to let that go.
This guy is the real deal, dude.
He
really is.
He's great.
I don't know. I mean, I'll take Luke Altmaier, every day of the week, man. He's fantastic, and I think you can forgive him for a bad night.
Absolutely.
Against a good team. So yeah.
Yes, against a very scrappy Purdue team.
Mm-hmm.
Khalil Valentine at running back for Illinois had 95 workmanlike yards on about 4.3 yards per attempt, 1 TD. And Caden Fagan chipped in 2 TDs as the short yardage back. But this game was all about wide receiver Hank Beatty, baby.
Dude.
He went ballistic with 5 grabs for 186 yards, 37 yards a catch, 162-yard touchdown. Colin Dixon and others chipped in as Altmaier hit 8 different receivers on his 19 completions.
Mm-hmm.
So with Altmaier, you don't always know like whom he's going to throw to, which makes Illinois really tough to defend.
Yeah.
For Purdue, Ryan Brown was 30 of 50 for 302 yards, so just 6 yards per attempt, 1 TD, 0 picks. So, Ryan Brown kind of is Ryan Brown. He has his moments, but he also, will throw a lot of passes that aren't great either.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue ran the ball surprisingly well, but it just wasn't enough to keep up with Illinois. Purdue put up 453 yards, but a lot of those were empty yards as Illinois controlled this game and for the second consecutive week went over 500 total yards for the game. Purdue's getting better and they're scrappy, but Illinois to me was the story here. They continue to brush off that bad Indiana loss, and at 5-1, they have a big chance to prove themselves next week against Ohio State.
I mean, clearly Bielema wanted to make a statement here. I mean, putting 27 points up in the second quarter alone. I mean, he was like, "No, we're gonna demoralize this team." And I know
have to, because Purdue's had their number.
Yep, it's true. And it looked like you could, oh no, it's like Purdue coming back. And because Purdue is scrappy, they're a better team than what people think.
Yes.
And like we've said again, they will bite, come up and
You're
bite
going to get
somebody.
somebody. We
They
just don't
will.
know who.
Yep, exactly. But I think, you just got to give full credit to this team because Illinois looked like a complete team out there, man. Like it was just they looked so dominant once they started scoring points in the second quarter, it was just off to the races, and it really never looked like Purdue had a chance. Luke Altmaier looked like you were playing with a freaking, topped out video game quarterback.
19 for 22, man. That is wild.
It's insane.
That's, that's like, it's like in 2019. That's like 2019 era Tanner Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Luke Altmaier doing that. And he's got Hank Beatty, but I don't think he has two like elite receivers. He's got one, but he's making it all work because he just knows that offense.
He's just so smooth, man. It's I don't know. He's fun to watch, dude. But for Purdue, like it's nice. Ryan Brown, man, like people need to remember that he can run the ball. He's got legs, and you give him any space, he'll take advantage of that. I was interested to see Antonio Harris kind of coming out as the number one back in this game.
Yeah,
in a way,
that's
supplanting. Yeah, I felt like he ran the ball. I mean, Devin Maccabee, crazy legs, just always looks awkward running the ball, but somehow
always
still
looks awkward.
Does well more often than I think he should, but he does.
But he's not an above average big. He's very average. He's an average Big Ten running back.
Antonio Harris looked good though. I thought I liked what I saw out of him. He definitely was effective. He has better vision, I think, than Devin Maccabee. So, that's another plus for Purdue. But yeah, man, Illinois just looked sublime. Absolutely.
It was really impressive. And I just look, I'm going to say it now. If Ohio State plays the way they played last night, I don't want to hear people write Illinois off if Ohio State wrecks them next week.
No. Yeah.
Because right now, Ohio State, and I'm going to say it when we get to that game, and I'm going to say it right now, Ohio State is the best team in the country. I'm not sure it's that close.
Yeah.
The next closest are Miami and Oregon. Mm-hmm. I think that's the big three, but Ohio State is different, man.
Yep.
They are different, but we will get to that game. Next, let's talk about, I'd say, the game of the day, John. Unranked. 1-4 UCLA 42 against now equally unranked 3-2 Penn State 37.
Are they officially unranked? Penn State? Oh wow.
I mean, you can double check me if you want to look up the AP top 25, but I'm pretty sure they're unranked now.
Let me double check. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'll double check. But go ahead.
They haven't beat a power conference team. They haven't beaten a power conference team. Anyway, this was not just the upset of the day, John. It was the upset of the season. This game was considered so unimportant that I had it on my laptop because I thought there were two other Big Ten games in the same time slot that would be more interesting. But I found myself turning back to my laptop time and again just due to the high drama of a winless team knocking off the preseason conference favorite. It's too crazy for words. At the end of the first quarter, it was just 10-7 UCLA. Not a great start for the Nittany Lions, but nothing to be alarmed about. But then the Bruins rattled off 17 second quarter points to 0 for Penn State. Suddenly it was 27-7 at half. And not only was an upset possible, it was likely. To their credit, Penn State battled back. They cut to lead to 27-21, to 34-28, to 42-37. But every time Penn State got to within one score of taking the lead, UCLA's offense answered. And Jerry Neuheisel, a Nepo baby who's never called a play in his life, just absolutely schooled the alleged best defensive coordinator in college football in Jim Knowles.
Dude, he looks like he's 25.
I think he's 33.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah, dude, he's never called plays before. He's a baby coach. He's a Nepo coach. His dad's,
Yeah. It's wild.
You know who his dad is.
Yeah.
So, it was a performance for the ages. I don't have adequate words to describe how big an upset this was. UCLA was 0-4. They lost to bad teams from inferior conferences in UNLV and New Mexico. You got absolutely throttled by New Mexico in particular. It appeared the team had quit on Deshaun Foster, and that was the season. But then they fired Deshaun Foster, further fired some of his assistants, and now a motley crew of inexperienced coaches managed to knock off perennially top 10 ranked Penn State program. This wasn't a football game, John. This was a Disney movie told from the perspective of our friends in Westwood.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So what are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, look, dude, this was wild. This could be the upset of the season. Really?
Easily. It's easily the upset of the season. What's going to be bigger than this?
I don't know. This is incredible. And I don't know what to do. I mean, look,
like if Furman beats Alabama in November.
That'd be amazing. But no, let me just start. I'll start first. I want to give flowers to UCLA, and especially,
yes,
I will never, ever, ever, ever say again that Nico Emaliava is some kind of, he could be some kind of drama queen. He could be causing issues in the locker room, whatever. No, man. No. I would follow him through fire, like into a burning building with the way he played last night. There is no way anyone on that team wouldn't want to do whatever they possibly can to play hard for him, because he was a leader. He put that team on his shoulders. He was a freaking superhero, dude. Like, it was like people were the announcers were comparing him to Vince Young, and I could see it. I see where that was coming from. I'm not saying he is, but like, he was unreal.
Go ahead.
I just couldn't believe it. And the fact that, and also the defense just like took off, man. It was unbelievable. So I got to give full credit to Nico. He he deserves his flowers. We need to acknowledge him on every level. Top rusher, obviously throwing. He was, I don't know, man. He was topped out at 99 on NCAA 26. Period.
Yeah,
that's it.
He's ridiculous. So he was 17 for 24 for 166 yards. So that's not crazy. What's crazy is that he ran the ball 16 times for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns. 3 of them. That is bonkers. John, I looked it up because when I was watching it, I was like, this seems wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked it up. James Franklin and Jim Knowles, time after time, refused to put a spy on Nico. So you've got a QB in Nico who doesn't have a lot of options outside Quasi Gilmer. And instead of spying him and making sure he doesn't hurt you with his legs, you play coverage and let him cook. And he just scrambles time after time after time and gets you every time. Look, I understand having a game plan and wanting to stick to it, but you got to pivot. Like, as soon as Nico starts burning you, it's like, okay, let's spy him with 1 or 2 guys. Because again, their receivers aren't very good.
Yep.
Quasi Gilmer is kind of it for them.
Yep.
As to guys who can get open on their own accord and don't need it schemed up for them. So how is your entire game plan not include a pivot to put a spy on a quarterback who keeps burning you with his legs? I don't understand it. And on offense, man, James Franklin was like running the ball down multiple scores in the first half, like trying and throwing like short passes. And like, I'm like, dude, you got behind. You got to, give PJ credit. When they got down against Rutgers, he pushed the ball.
Yeah.
Like, James Franklin, again, against Oregon, it took him till the 4th quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And against UCLA, it took him till the second half. And guess what? Both times it was too late.
Yep.
It was too late.
Dude, I mean, I know that every year you hear Penn State and Nittany Lion fans talk about how they want to get rid of Franklin, fire Franklin, fire Franklin.
I've never taken them seriously ever until this moment.
And now I'm like, maybe we need to talk about it. Yeah. And this is inexcusable, man. I mean,
because this just isn't an average Penn State team. They put all in on money.
Yep.
All in on the coordinators.
Yep.
They paid a king's ransom for this roster so that they could make a run at a national championship. And they are 3-2 and 0-2 against power conference competition.
And you're right. They are no longer Penn State and Texas are no longer in the top 20.
Good. They shouldn't be.
Yep.
They should not be, because again, they haven't beaten a power conference opponent.
Yep.
I mean, this couldn't have been a bigger disaster. You know, they thought they could just roll out the helmets and UCLA would be like, "Oh, we're scared." And that would be it. And they would just be declared the winner. And that's not how it works in the Big Ten. We keep trying to tell these teams that anybody can get you because everyone has NFL talent. And dude, Nico's going to play in the NFL.
Yes, he is.
I don't know if he's going to succeed or not. I have no idea. But someone's going to draft him because he's got that kind of ability. And more importantly, next year, whether it's at UCLA or somewhere else, he's going to have an offense to run, you know? Yeah.
Well, he just put up if he transfers, he's put up his stock. Like, it just jumped up significantly.
Oh, dude, he'll be the number one quarterback in the transfer portal if he gets in.
Yeah.
Like, unquestionably.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know. I have no words, man. I'm sorry, Penn State fans. I know, like, you're absolutely like devastated. Yeah, absolutely. That's the best word to put it. And I don't know what else to say other than I would be, my whole world would be crumbling right now if I were in that position, dude. I don't even know. And now I give full credence to all of those things about wanting Franklin gone. I mean, I never bought it.
I never bought it because he kept recruiting better and better, and they kept winning more and more. And then last year they made the semifinal game. And it seemed like they were all set up to do it this year. But I don't know, man. The offensive problems, and here's the thing, it's not just Drew Aller, because how many times, I mean, Franklin has had, 8 offensive coordinators now? This is his 7th or 8th in
something like that, yeah.
12 years.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot, and it's because he thinks that they're not good enough. But all these guys have success elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then they come to Penn State and it's not good enough. And you can't tell me that Andy Kotelnicki isn't good enough.
No.
And that Jim Knowles isn't good enough. James Franklin didn't take this game seriously.
Yep.
And his coaches did the same thing and his players did the same thing. I don't have any other explanation. I'm not saying UCLA didn't deserve to win. They deserve to win. But you cannot tell me that a UCLA team that hasn't won a game had any business beating a roster and an experienced roster with the talent like Penn State has.
And I know,
in front of like no fans.
Yeah. In front of UCLA's dozens of fans. That's what happened. But imagine being one of those dozens of fans there. Like, at that, I'd be going.
You'd have really mixed feelings, John. It would feel good and bad at the same time. It'd be like after, like, when you're in high school, after like a romance ends and you're like, oh, that was really cool. And also it hurts.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be really rough.
But look, man, I do want to, I know it's not obviously full blame on Drew Aller, but I've been trying to convince myself the last year or so that, like, he's better. He's going to take that next step. He's going to take that. And he hasn't, man. He's
regressed.
He's regressed. Yeah, man. He's either just plateaued or he's regressed. It's not impressive. I don't think he's the guy. He's a game manager.
Yeah.
I just don't see anything that truly impresses me. No. He's your average college quarterback at best.
The story of this year is guys with a lot of arm talent and a lot of hype underachieving.
Yeah.
Arch Manning, DJ Legway, Garrett Nussmeier, and Drew Aller. Lenoris Sellers. Like, a lot of guys who are very hyped the entire offseason have not gotten it done. And a lot of the guys who have gotten it done are like younger quarterbacks, like a CJ Carr at Notre Dame or whatever, you know? So it's interesting. It's interesting when that happens, because just because guys get older doesn't necessarily mean they get better.
Yeah.
Sometimes guys tap out either their talent or more often they don't have it in between the years. And so they stop getting better even though they have the physical talent.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Aller has, man. I think that there's something wrong with the way he makes decisions. He doesn't, like, when he has single coverage and he should force it into coverage, he won't do it. He won't do it.
Yeah.
He's afraid. And you can't play scared. And that's honestly, I blame James Franklin for that. Why does he still feel that way? He's a fifth-year senior. Why doesn't he have more confidence in himself?
And I don't understand because it's not like James Franklin hasn't had quarterbacks that did do all of those things.
Trace McSorley, man.
He was terrifying.
Oh, he was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So
he
bizarre.
Had less arm talent than Drew Aller.
Yeah. It's bizarre, man. Also, we need to talk about the fact that Drew Aller was the leading rusher for Penn State's offense. What is going on with Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton, dude?
Well, and Katron Allen was clearly the better one. And I think Nicholas Singleton's playing hurt this year.
Yeah.
That's what I think, because he has not looked the same. He does not have the same burst. So Katron Allen right now, I know I've always been a Nick Singleton guy, but right now Katron Allen is the better option because I think Singleton is playing hurt.
But still,
but they didn't get, I know there was nothing with that ballyhooed offensive line. I don't understand it. And then those high-priced receivers they got in the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Drew Aller liked it better when he had one guy to throw to because he only had to make one read.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
I don't think he can make reads at a Big Ten at a power conference level.
Yep. It seems that way for sure.
Rough.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Well, congratulations, Bruins fans. You enjoy this. And I mean, seriously, this will take
a rough year. It's been a rough decade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Congrats
for sure. I hope, it's like when I have a bad season, I'll go back and watch just the wins sometimes. So no matter what happens this week, UCLA, keep this one on. Don't delete it.
No.
Keep it. There might be a time in the, right now or in the next 8 weeks when you want to watch that again and you do it and don't feel bad about it.
That's right. No shame. None.
Yeah. You earned it. Mm-hmm. You got the biggest upset of the year. Now, of course, having a team bad enough to get the biggest upset of the year sucks, but you did it. You pulled it off.
Absolutely.
And if you can keep Nico with the next coach, maybe you have something to build around too.
Absolutely.
All right. Next up, we had the Northwestern Wildcats 42, the University of Louisiana Monroe Warhawks 7. This game is one in which Northwestern dominated the way a Big Ten team should over a lower tier group of 6 team like ULM. Preston Stone was a solid 20 for 31, 262 yards, 8.5 yards per attempt, 3 TDs, 0 picks for a QBR of 89. You will take that. That's by far his best performance of the season, I think.
Yep.
And the Cats also rushed the ball at will, going for 246 yards on the Warhawks, and 6 Wildcats carried the ball for positive yardage. Deshaun Reeder emerged as the number 2 option behind Caleb Komalafe. And I think, maybe that's the 1-2 punch that'll be the centerpiece of this offense going forward.
Yep. No, I agree. I think it's look, this is just another game for them to kind of get things, straighten out their offense in a way. It was weird having a non-conference game this far into the season, but it's really beneficial for Northwestern. I think that this is going to help them. Yeah, this is really going to help them moving forward. Getting Preston Stone even more comfortable, his receivers, the running game, everything. So now you can kind of head into the rest of Big Ten play feeling stable and knowing exactly where you're at. So, I mean, this is a great game for them to have at this time. It's also just a confidence booster and all that. So, but there's not much else to say other than, they did exactly what they should do.
Yeah, I mean, ULM's not a great team.
No.
By any means.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we had the Nebraska Cornhuskers 38 and the Michigan State Spartans 27 in a game I wasn't sure anybody wanted to win, John.
Yep.
At halftime, Nebraska had 77 yards of offense, and Michigan State had 104, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or 100. I think the total yards between them was in the 170s of offense for a half in a college Big Ten football game with Big Ten level athletes. And I know it was windy, but half the time the wind is going with you.
Yeah.
So you had at least a quarter where theoretically you should have been able to move the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't great, dude. And if it was 14-7 in Nebraska at half, but only because Nebraska blocked a punt and returned it for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So it should have been 7-7 at half. And honestly, that was the vibe this game gave. A 7-7. It felt like that's what it should have been at half. Sparty came back in the second half. They outscored Nebraska 14-7 in the third quarter. Cut it to, or, tied it up 21-21. But then Nebraska kind of took over a little bit and outscored Michigan State 17-6 in the final period. So when Nebraska needed it, they got it. But it was shaky. It was shaky as she goes along the way.
Well, I think to me, yes. I mean, Nebraska definitely, when they needed it, they did get there. But also Sparty, they shot themselves in the foot, man. They definitely gave this game away sometimes too. Especially they were driving. They looked like they were going to score. Nebraska wasn't able to stop them, and then either a stupid decision by Aiden Childs or a fumble, or what, it was just not. Yeah, it wasn't good. It was a lot of dumb mistakes for Sparty that lost them this game too. So
we got to talk about Aiden Childs, man.
Yeah,
9 for 23, 85 yards, 3.7 yards per attempt, 0 TDs, and 2 picks.
Yep, exactly.
Like, that is terrible. And on top of that, Sparty lost a fumble.
Mm-hmm.
So, whereas Raiola threw 1 pick and that was it. So Nebraska won the turnover battle 3-1.
Yeah. And that was the story of the game.
That was the difference in the game score wise.
Yep.
Was those extra possessions close on short fields.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's not like they put up a lot of yards, and, it's Emmett Johnson ran the ball okay. 13 for 83. So 6.4 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. So he was all right. Nobody else, it didn't work great though, because, Raiola ended up with the sack yardage and whatever. But so I will say that's good, right? Because Nebraska struggled to run the ball. So being able to get Emmett Johnson going a little bit is a good sign.
Well, Nebraska also struggled to protect Raiola, man. I mean, there was 5 sacks on the day, and that's not something you want to see against a Sparty defense that's not fantastic.
Well, not just not fantastic, a Sparty defense that has struggled to get pressure.
Yep.
So they had 5 sacks and 7 total tackles for loss, Sparty did.
Yep.
What's going on with your offensive line, Nebraska?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like, I don't know, man. I don't, if they hadn't won the turnover battle the way they did, I'm not saying that this could have gone into overtime pretty easily.
I think so too. I think it was more evenly matched than what that score indicates. And because there was, and it was the turnovers. I'm not saying, again, this is not me saying Sparty wins the game, but it was more coin flippy had, Sparty been able to protect the ball more. But, Nebraska took advantage, and they did what they needed to do and what they should do in that situation. So they earned it.
They absolutely did.
There's definitely questions for sure on when it comes to Nebraska. I'm still not convinced. I'm not honestly about any part of that team, but Sparty even less so. So it's just doesn't look great.
I mean, I think Raiola's pretty good. He's pretty good. I don't know if he's great yet.
Yeah.
I don't think he elevates his teammates around him yet the way you maybe want to see a 5-star QB in a second year starting do. That obviously we're still halfway through the season. There's a lot of time. There's a lot of winnable games. We could see him, make a charge in the back half of the season here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. The fact that the running game is so touch and go and the fact that they just got, Michigan State obviously decided to play more aggressive, but it really worked.
Yeah.
I mean, they got there. 5 sacks.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. I didn't, trying to watch 3 games at once, I didn't realize there were 5 sacks in that game.
Yeah, they were getting pressures all game long, man, and obviously got to the quarterback 5 times. But it was not. I wasn't impressed with the offensive line, and that's problematic, And look, the defensive line did better than I was expecting as far as stopping the run, but then again, Sparty's offensive line is equally unimpressive. So,
yeah,
Sparty's
offensive line is real rough.
Mm-hmm.
They are, and good for their defense for playing a little better, but and then then they won. So Nebraska won this in turnovers and special teams.
Yep.
You take away the turnovers and the blocked punt, but you can't, right? Obviously, you can't take those things away. Like, good for Nebraska, they made those plays.
Yep, exactly.
But I do. You know what? You could say that anytime. I was going to say, I do feel like the Nebraska fan base is a little overconfident based on relative to their level of play.
But that's all the time.
That's all the time. So
they could have no wins right now. And
Nebraska fans, we love you, but but you always believe you're going to win the next game, no matter what the odds are that you're going to win the next game.
And I envy that.
I do. Yeah.
This is me being envious, not judging.
This isn't hate. No. This is admiration.
Yeah, I wish I had the ability to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yep. Congrats to the Cornhuskers, though.
Yeah, it's a big win.
Yep.
And Nebraska's in a position now where it's, can they go on a little bit of a run?
Mm-hmm.
They're 4-1. They have that favorable schedule this year. And coming up, they have at Maryland. That is suddenly a really interesting game.
That could be fun, man. Yeah.
That could be really fun. That's 2 exciting, dynamic quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got to go to Minnesota, and then they have Northwestern. So if Nebraska is going to have the season they want to have, they have to win the next 3 games.
Yep.
But obviously Maryland and Minnesota have other ideas.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really exciting to track. And yeah, dude, sign me up for Nebraska, Maryland.
Yes.
My only thing I'm upset about in this game is it's going to be a thing where I miss the second half because it's time to go to the stadium for the Gopher game.
Yeah.
It's the only bad part about it. But you can watch it and you can give me updates.
I will be texting you. Absolutely. Yeah.
I appreciate that. I won't, because I'll be driving. I was thinking, because my dad comes to games, I'll be like in the passenger seat with a game up, like just giving him like a rundown of what's going on. But I will be driving, so I will not be doing that, because it would be dangerous to both drive and watch a game at the same time. That would be a bad idea. We don't advise that.
You can listen to it on the radio, though. Like, that's what I did with the Gopher game. Like, I had to be driving for a party.
I know, but it's hard to find feeds for other Big Ten games that aren't the Minnesota game.
Yeah, you're right. It is a little,
which is annoying.
Yeah,
which is weird. Why can't I just, turn the dial and hit all the Big Ten games? I don't understand.
Well, I used the app, the Gopher phone app, and like where you can listen to hockey, football, basketball, whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's what I put on, and I put it on in my car, and I just listened to it the whole way.
Well, I'll have to download that. Look at us. Yeah. Not a sponsor, could be.
Yeah.
Looking at you, U of M, you could sponsor this podcast. Just think about it.
Or ESPN Radio. I mean, we know we hate on you, but like maybe we'll hate on you less if you want to sponsor us.
If you want to sponsor us, I can be bought.
Same.
I can be bought.
Yep. 100%.
I mean, right now, no one's buying us, so we're going to be honest. But I'm not above being bought. We're kidding. We think. I think we're kidding. We'll find out.
We would totally be bought.
We'll be bought. Yeah.
What do you got?
The only thing I wouldn't sell out to is gambling, because I do think it's destroying society.
Yeah. I'm not in favor of that. But if ESPN Radio wants to sponsor us, absolutely. Sign me up.
Yes. For sure. All right. Any other thoughts about Nebraska and Michigan State?
No, it's a good game. I think there's just still a lot to learn from both of these teams.
Yeah.
It still left a lot of questions in my mind in some ways. So I'm very interested, and I think both teams can still pull out some wins, and could possibly have a pretty solid season. We'll see. It's about who makes the least amount of mistakes, and I think right now it looks like Nebraska is the one who's protecting the ball better. So, yeah.
Right on. Well, next up, John, we had a tale of two halves.
Yeah.
The Washington Huskies 24, the Maryland Terrapins 20. It was 20-0 Maryland. 20-0. And then Washington managed a field goal in the third quarter. So at that point, it was 20-3. And then outscored Maryland 21-0 in the fourth quarter for Maryland Terrapins for their Cinderella to turn into a pumpkin. The inevitable October slide, apparently, of Mike Locksley. Because they had this game, John. They had it. They dominated it. I mean, look, the stats ended up like even enough, but 20-0.
Yeah.
20-0.
They were rolling.
And I just, and then when things went bad, they went really bad. Like Malik Washington, 30 for 49, 219 yards, only 4.5 yards per attempt, 1 TD, 1 pick. Woof, not great. Couldn't run the ball again.
At all.
Not at all. I mean, DeJuan Williams, 2.2 yards per attempt on 12 carries. I mean, that is not going to get the job done. It just absolutely is not. And then, Octavian Smith, Dorian Fleming, Jaleel Farouk, Shalik Knotts, they all did stuff when you were rolling. And then in the second half, I don't know, man, sometimes I wonder if Mike Locksley's offense is sufficiently schematically diverse, because it feels like it always works for a while, and then the other team figures it out, and then they shut the door and it's over. And it's over, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. And that just feels like it happens to Maryland way more than it happens to other teams.
Yeah. It's true, and it's infuriating. I mean, as a Terps fan, I'd be like, there's too much talent, there's too much opportunity to win games, and it doesn't make logical sense in some ways, or at least it feels that way, I should say. For it to just turn on a dime like that, like you're rolling and you're ahead by 20 points, and then
20 points.
It just seems like, you just stop. Do you just stop
deep
playing?
Into the third quarter?
It's bizarre. It's very bizarre how that happens.
When Washington scored their first field goal, there was 3 minutes and 44 seconds left in the third quarter, and it was 20-3. How do you lose that game? I mean, they had to score 3 more times to beat you, and they did. And they were all had to be touchdowns, and they were.
Yeah.
Just a total breakdown. And I mean, we're talking, 9 plays, 74 yards, 4 plays, 75 yards, 11 plays, 80 yards, and
it's not
just
like
blowing through you.
Well, and it's not like Maryland's defense had a bad game.
Until the fourth quarter.
Until the fourth quarter.
Then they had a terrible game.
But that's what I mean. Like, how do you just fall apart? Like, they just stop playing? Like, I mean, they were doing well.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I think they stopped playing. And I don't understand how you stop playing when you got Damon Williams on the other side.
And Jonah Coleman and Denzel Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you can't. You
can't.
You can't do that.
And Damon Williams ended up with 275 yards passing. And was it his best game? No. And did he throw a pick? Yes. But had a couple touchdowns too. Jonah Coleman, you shut him down. Good for you. Didn't do anything. Stopped Washington from running the ball. But, you let enough guys get loose in the receiving game for them to come back. And then your offense, you needed your offense. You needed them to help you when oh God, our defense is, things are falling down. Things are not happening. We need the offense to possess the ball a little bit, and you look at the last several Maryland possessions, punt, 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 turnover on downs, end of game. Punt, 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 turnover on downs, end of game.
Mm-hmm.
When you needed to have it,
Yeah.
and you're Mike Loxley, you're an offensive coach. You had to have this one, Mike.
Yep.
You had to. Because you had them. You had them.
Mm-hmm.
And now we can't even say for sure you're going to beat UCLA because, oh my God, UCLA. I mean, maybe they don't win another game, but maybe they win 3 more games. I don't know. I don't know what UCLA is going to do, and neither do you. Nobody has any idea.
No, I don't. I don't know.
Point television, because they could be down or up 4 touchdowns in the second quarter of their next game easily.
And this is why parity is so much better in college football. Like, I know I'm going off subject here, but like, this is why we need to keep this going. We don't want all this other bullshit to come back into the college football world. So this is exciting. Love it. Sorry.
Yes.
But yes. Yeah, dude, I don't know. And do you have a freshman, you have a young quarterback who needs all the confidence in the world. And if you all of a sudden start circling the drain, like Maryland tends to do in October, does that get into his head? And you got to keep him there. You need him to stay at your school.
Yes.
So,
you have to keep him. You can't let him. If he walks out the door, you might as well fire Loxley.
Exactly.
And Maryland, now that we have revenue sharing,
mm-hmm.
they should be able to pay him enough. Like, even without NIL, and Maryland does not have NIL. We know that.
Yeah.
For football, anyway. They have it for basketball. But even without NIL, with revenue sharing, they should be able to pay whatever amount of millions, whatever 7-figure check is going to come to Malik Washington. You need to make sure it's coming from College Park.
Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, look, congrats to Washington getting their stuff figured out, and
win your clunkers.
Yep, they did it.
Shout out to the solid verbal. Win your clunkers. Yeah, Washington looked terrible, and our Washington fan in the chat was like, "I predicted this was going to happen." Shout out Windy City Farmer. Yeah, he said, "I predicted this was going to happen." Blah blah blah, and I was like, "But you won."
Yeah.
And then he didn't. And then he stopped talking because he was like, I love how I've never seen someone talking crap about a loss and then stop because they won. It's the other way around.
Like, and if you did, like, be like, hey, I'm so happy I was wrong. Like
I know, but like that never happened. He just never posted that part of it. He was just like, oh, got me.
I was wrong about winning this game. Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like, dude, be happy. They had you. You were
dead
to rights. It reminded me of that game against Northwestern for Minnesota a few years ago, when it was when they were just done and the game was over and Minnesota just quit playing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you can't. That's the thing about football. You got to keep playing because you can score really fast.
Yep.
Guys can run 100 yards really fast.
Yes, they can.
So even if you are 95 yards away, that could all change.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that.
Yep. Well, congrats, Washington. You did it. Loxley, get it figured out, man. Figure it out.
Yeah, dude, because you got a big one. Dude, that is going to be one.
Mm-hmm. If they beat Nebraska, Loxley's back in favor.
Oh, if they beat Nebraska, but like, that's going to be a really interesting game.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think I'll tease this. My early prediction is that Maryland gets up early and then chokes again. If I had to say what I think is going to happen in that game right now, where I sit now, maybe I'll change my mind when I go in deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I feel like Maryland's going to get ahead. Nebraska fans are going to be like, oh my, and then they're going to win. And then they're going to be really confident about coming from winning or from almost losing against Maryland. Yeah. All right.
And that's it.
And that's all the games. Just kidding. The Here Comes Saturday Night game was a really good game for a quarter. It was a really good game for a quarter. The number 1 Ohio State Buckeyes 42, the Minnesota Golden Gophers 3. So Minnesota drove right down, took the ball, which PJ never does. Never takes the ball when he wins the toss.
Mm-hmm.
Took the ball, went right down, scored a field goal. Should have scored a touchdown, but Javon Tracy dropped. It wasn't a great pass from Drake, but it was a catchable pass. And should have had that on third down. Ended up kicking a field goal. And then the Gophers got to stop and stopped Ohio State, and they missed a long field goal. And you thought, oh, we got a game here. And people were messaging me like, oh, yeah, like you got them right where you want them. And then the Ohio State machine just kicked into high gear.
Yep.
And Ohio State went touchdown, 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 punt, punt, touchdown, 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 end of game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Here's what I'm going to say. The Ohio State offense isn't even the impressive part. The impressive part is that Buckeyes defense. My goodness, they are terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Patricia, they remind me of like when Jim Tressel was at his height.
Yeah.
And had the best defense in the country like every year. That's what Ohio State's like now.
Yeah.
And Matt Patricia has them running like a more complicated scheme than they ran last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they are just making insane plays on a regular basis. They are everywhere. They had 7 tackles for loss, only 1 sack. But 7 tackles for loss, 4 passes defended. Absolutely were step for step with Minnesota's after that first drive, step for step with Minnesota's receivers. They were dominant on the line of scrimmage up until when we were playing their backups, and Feme had some, had some luck in this late in the second half on what should have been a field goal drive, but missed the field goal from 40 yards, which.
Mm-hmm.
Brady Denneberg, dude, I think it's time to give this freshman, yeah, from Alexandria,
Daniel Jackson,
the new Daniel Jackson.
I
think it's time to see what he can do.
I agree.
Because if Denneberg can't hit anything 40 yards or out, then we shouldn't be attempting anything 40 yards and out.
No.
And he's 3 for his last 12.
Yeah,
he can't hit it. From there.
Let him kick off, and that's it. Because the guy can't. He's got a leg.
No, even look. If you want him to kick from inside 40, then you think that that's the best option. Okay, but if you're gonna kick a long field goal, you have to put someone else in because he can't do it.
Well, the thing is, whatever. He's got a leg, but he just doesn't have the accuracy, and that's my thing with him. Now, this Daniel Jackson freshman. Might as well give him a shot, man. And just if you need the leg for kickoffs, well then put Denneberg out there for that. That's it. That's all he does.
Daniel Jackson's got a bigger leg than Denneberg.
I hope so. I would.
I mean, according to everything I've seen.
Okay, well then, put him out there, man. Denneberg's
not great.
He's worthless, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's not good. No. He's not good. And we finally have a good punter too.
Yeah,
we finally have a really good punter.
There we go.
And it's like our kicker now is not great, and it's so frustrating.
But I've heard
2 straight years of subpar kicker play.
Yeah,
and PJ needs to adjust
yes.
and say, okay, so either we're going for it or we're punting. We're not kicking these long field goals.
Yeah.
You go for it or you punt, PJ. Mm-hmm. Those are your options.
Mm-hmm.
From 40 yards and out, those are your options. And you know what? You should probably be going for it more.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, just so you know that's where we're at. So yeah, that Buckeyes defense, man, and Caleb Downs, and he's everywhere, and they're all just so impressive. And Arvell Reese, like he's shot out of a cannon,
mm-hmm.
running down every running play. Like after that first drive, when they could adjust to what we were doing schematically.
Yeah.
We basically had one good drive the rest of the game, and that Buckeye defense, I think, is the best defense in college football. I think they're even better than Miami.
Yep.
And then Julian Sayin, man, 23 for 27, 326 yards, 12 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks for a QBR of 97.4. 97.4.
Yep.
Dude, I mean, he is coming into his own. And the Buckeyes they're doing right now what they did in the playoff, they're doing in the regular season. They're just getting better by leaps and bounds every game.
Yeah.
This team that played against Minnesota was better than the team that played against Washington, and that was better than the team that played against Texas.
Yep.
And next week against Illinois, they're going to be better than they were against Minnesota. And so they have the best defense in the country. And oh, by the way, they have Jeremiah Smith, the best wide receiver in the country. And oh, by the way, is Carnell Tate also one of the top 5 wide receivers in the country? Because he made Minnesota look foolish last night on numerous occasions.
And let's not forget, they also have Max Clare. They have
Max Clare. And they got the ball to Max Clare last night.
Yes, they did.
Which they should. He's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they've got Bo Jackson. They've got...
Bo Jackson's so good. He's so good. I thought, I think CJ Donaldson's pretty good too.
He is absolutely. But like, this is
he looked healthier. He looked quicker last night than he's been.
Yes, he did.
So I wonder if he's finally healthy. Like, this is just, I think Ohio State is better than the team that won last year's title.
Yep.
I think they're better.
It's an NFL team playing college football. That's what this is.
And that's who Ohio State has always been.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at the last quarter century, everyone talks about Alabama as the dynasty, and they should, because titles matter.
Yep.
But Alabama was bad before Nick Saban got there. Alabama lost 4 games after Nick Saban left. Ohio State never falls off, ever. They lose 1 or maybe 2 games a year. Every year. The last time they had a bad record was when they went 6-6 with an interim coach who happened to be named Luke Fickell.
Yep.
So it took Luke Fickell's coaching for Ohio State to be less than amazing. The Buckeyes, Ohio State's the best program in college football.
Hands down.
I think it was true. Yeah. I think that Georgia had a moment in the sun, but that was under the old system when Kirby could stockpile defensive line talent until from here to next Tuesday. And he could just send waves at you, waves and waves of them until they got to you. He can't do that anymore because those guys will take money to go play. The guys who are not the starters will take money to go be starters somewhere else because they're good enough to play. And so Kirby can't play the Saban game where he just has more talent. And I think, I'll say it, I think Ryan Day is a better head coach than Kirby Smart. I said for the new era. I think so too.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
I think Kirby Smart is a creature of the old era. I think he'll still be great.
Yeah.
I think Georgia will still win a ton of games, and Georgia's still, a top 3 or 4 recruiting program in college football. But I think they peaked under Kirby. And I think the new system is going to make it harder for everybody, but harder for them. And I think Ryan Day is better situated to win in the modern system than Kirby Smart is.
Yeah, I agree. I do.
I think the Buckeyes could be headed on. They say there are going to be no dynasties anymore. I don't know, man. I think there'll be fewer dynasties, but I look at Ohio State. They won it last year. They're the best team this year. They could win it this year, and they have 1 more year of Jeremiah Smith. There's no reason Ohio State shouldn't win the title this year and then be the favorite next year too, because it'll be Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith coming back.
Yeah,
and I think they lose Carnell Tate after this year, but the next guy's probably going to be just as good.
And Bo Jackson will be back. I mean,
yeah, dude.
I don't know.
They lose Caleb Downs, but come on, it's the. Yeah. Ohio State, they don't. That's the thing. When you recruit at a top 3 level, you're never rebuilding.
Yeah.
You're just reloading.
Yeah.
Because the guys you bring in are so advanced athletically and skill wise that it's just, yeah. So here's what I'll say, John. I am not nearly as Gopher fans are acting like this is the end of the season.
I know.
And it's because, okay, we lost an ugly game to Cal. And I'll admit that was ugly. But again, our best player, Darius Taylor, didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
And our second best player, Coy Parrish, cost us the game.
He had the worst game of his career.
Worst game of his entire life.
Yeah.
He caught a fair catch at the 2. He had one bounce off him that gave them the to win. He got burned twice for touchdowns in coverage. I mean, he'll never play like that again.
No.
He got the message. He obviously wasn't ready to play out west. Whatever. It's fine. And now Darius is back. He was on a pitch count against Ohio State. But my guess is they will be ramping him up to full use against Purdue.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was always the plan,
Yeah.
to have a pitch count against Ohio State and then to unleash him on these next 4 teams in Purdue, in games Minnesota should have a really good chance to win.
Yep.
In Purdue, Iowa,
Nebraska,
and Michigan State.
Yep.
You know, there's no reason. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's no reason why Minnesota shouldn't have every opportunity to be 7-2 and ranked when they go to Autzen to play the Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's going to be tough to win at Iowa, but Gronowski is not even playing right now.
No.
So, and we play them way sooner than I thought we did.
Mm-hmm.
You
and
know?
It's always better to get Iowa earlier than later.
Yeah.
Not saying
generally.
I mean,
I hope Gronowski's better. I know he's. I hope he's back by then, but there's no guarantee he will be.
Yeah.
So I think the Gophers have a really good opportunity still to have a great season, and I am not going to jump on board with all the people who want to hate. Oh man, dude, you know who tried to come at me on Twitter over nothing? And here's the thing: it's one thing if I poke the bear, and I'm not going to say I never poke the bear. Once in a while, I poke the bear.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time I don't. I'm not a troll. That's not really my tendency. I'm trying to have positive interactions with people and whatever. A Maryland fan tried to come at me after they lost. Tried to come at me.
Interesting.
About our program. And I was like, okay, 1, we beat you 48-10 last year. Maybe you missed that game. So that's the most recent data point we have. And 2, you blew a 3-touchdown lead to Washington.
I don't know. I mean, obviously every fan base has their people, but like it's pretty it's a pretty interesting thing to be a Terps fan and then try to come after someone and comment on the quality of their program. I don't know. I mean
they've been really down for a long time. It's really weird.
It's a little bizarre.
But I guess my point is that we are getting to the part of Big Ten play when fans get petty.
They do.
And he immediately unfollowed me as I did him.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do. And it's just, but like, I'm not out there trying to pick fights, but the trolls will come out. And the thing is, this is going to sound weird. This is the least upset I've ever been over a blowout loss.
Oh yeah. Same. I'm not like...
I thought I was going to be much more upset than I was. And it's because Drake Lindsay looked as good as he did.
Yeah.
And as calm as he did, despite everything happening around him.
Exactly. It's that, and like knowing that we were keeping Darius on a pitch count. Like we were not putting our everybody out there. And I'm not saying like we still like, had Darius been out there full time, we still would have won. We would have won. No. We were never.
I'm saying Ohio State's an unstoppable juggernaut, and they're going to do this to everybody else.
And that's exactly what I'm saying too. So like for all the Gopher fans out there or any of the trolls, like I'm just like, it's like, dude, like show me, give me 5 teams in all of college football that can beat Ohio State.
Not beat them, even stay on the field with them and make it interesting.
I can't fill I can't fill a whole hand. Like,
no, I've got Miami and Oregon, and that's it.
That's it.
I don't think anyone else hangs with Ohio State for 4 quarters.
Exactly. And
you
so
can't score on them.
Yeah.
And they have the best receivers in the history of college football.
Yeah.
Is that an exaggeration at this point?
Might not be. I don't know.
I think it's worth discussing this receiver room against every other one. And you know what? The receiver rooms that are going to come up are going to be like Ohio State recently and like USC in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
When they had Lynn Swan or some shit like that. Like, we're going to have to go in the vault. Yeah. So the point is they have arguably, maybe 2019 LSU.
Yeah. That's a good one.
2019 LSU. But they're in the discussion with 2019 LSU.
Yep.
And Julian Sayin suddenly is looking a lot like Joe Burrow.
Yep.
Just saying.
I just think it's,
I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean
know.
to say Julian Sayin, just saying. I did not mean to do that.
But that's why I think, Gopher fans, take the finger off the trigger. It's still
seriously
there's tons of football left to play.
We have 7 games left.
Relax.
7.
You lost to one of the best teams, probably the best team in the country, that is probably going to win another natty, or at least
one of the best. Dude, if Ohio State, they might not lose a game all year.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And so
they might not just be the best team this year. They might be one of the best teams that's ever played the sport.
Yeah. They're likely to do this to literally everybody. So I'm not freaking out. I don't think that all of a sudden game's over. And that goes to, and that's to every single troll out there too. I'd love to see you guys go up against Ohio State if you're not playing them this year.
Yeah, if you don't play, I know. If you're talking a bunch of trash, it's because you don't play that. They're not on your schedule this year.
Yeah, and if they are,
you're not a playoff, and you're not a playoff team, so you're not going to see them there.
Exactly. And if you are playing them and you're talking trash, all right, I can't wait to see what happens.
Have a good time.
Good luck.
That's Godspeed.
No, I'm not really upset at all. I'm like, that's it. It's what we pretty much predicted, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
But cool, man.
All right. Should we get out of here?
Yeah. As always, if you want to find We Live for Saturday, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Podcast Addict. You can find us on Twitter at We Live for B1G Sat. You can find Mike here at Alibaba26. Find me, John, at Norwegian Gopher, and you can email us, We Live for Saturday, b1g@gmail.com. Please subscribe, follow, tweet, retweet, all that good stuff, especially here on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are getting overly down because we just lost to one of the best teams in potentially the history of college football, don't get excited about homecoming, which we will be previewing in our Tuesday episode. So get excited for that episode, and we will see you all. Oh, and John, did we even met? Oh, yeah, no, we did. Never mind. We're good to go. We'll see you all in the next one.